When someone picks up a video game, whether it be indie or AAA, they expect to at least have a few hours of entertainment. Some from its story, some from the multiplayer, and, well, gameplay is king. Top that off with some side quests and a bunch of collectibles to find, and you've got yourself a package. Now, for the most part, collectibles have been something you can avoid in video games. Like, you can just walk past them and who cares? But on certain occasions, some games take the extra step to make these worth finding. And with that being said, I'm Ben Roy from WhatCulture.com, and this is the 10 greatest video game collectibles you must find. Number 10. Manuscript pages. Alan Wake. Alan Wake is a cult classic game about a disgruntled horror novelist who's just trying to enjoy a well-earned vacation. But once he and his wife get to Bright Falls, not everything goes to plan. Wake blacks out rather quickly and gets separated from Alice, and from there has to battle his way through an army of Taken just to find her again. Along the way, he'll come across manuscript pages that he wrote himself but doesn't remember. Now, these pages are more than just words on a bit of paper. They tell the future, hinting to Wake and the player of future events and a nasty thing around the corner. Be it a bunch of crows, more Taken, or a demonic car. And there are 106 pages scattered across the 6 chapters in the main game, which are frankly all worth finding, as they come with narration from Alan Wake himself. They're a true joy to listen to, and much more worth it than the coffee thermoses. I mean, come on, why are there so many scattered around Bright Falls? Number 9. VERGIL audio logs. Halo 3 ODST. In this day and age, it's sad because it feels like Halo ODST is overlooked now, but back when it came out, it was more Halo that we desperately needed, and all wanted. For the first time, we weren't controlling the Master Chief in a main game, nor were we Keith David's Arbiter. The player controls multiple members of their ODST team as they conduct their own missions around New Mombasa. While the player wanders around the jazzy nighttime streets of New Mombasa, they can find glowing pieces of city infrastructure, such as phone booths or ATMs, that can be accessed and reveal audio logs. With every log, the player learns more about a character called Sandy Adesha, whose father was in charge of a top secret facility that you find towards the end of the game. Like any great audio log, her story adds a lot of subtext to the city and why it's helping the player. And of all I've found, the player is granted access to a bonus weapons cache with their very own mongoose, which is better than nothing, I suppose. But what you're really here for is the story of Sandy. Number 8. Audio diaries. BIOSHOCK. Deep beneath the waves and far away from the prying eyes of any government body, Andrew Ryan turned his dream into a reality with the creation of an underwater paradise known as Rapture. Yet like most paradises, it wasn't sustainable. When the player enters Rapture, the city is dying all around them, and there is little that can be found from the glory days of old. Well, apart from audio diaries anyway. And unlike most games that ham-fist audio diaries into them, these ones add so much texture and context to everything that went on. There is so much story in these audio diaries that if you don't collect them, then you don't really get the full picture. It almost feels like a good half of the story is being told here. Each diary gives a small glimpse into the minds of those who were in Rapture at the time. The conflict of power over Rapture between Andrew Ryan and Frank Fontaine, the creation of the Twisted Little Sisters and the Big Daddies, and so much more. If players really want to learn everything they can about Rapture, they'll have to kindly search the entire city for these audio logs. Number 7. Power Bricks. Any LEGO game. From the classic LEGO studs to the hundreds of iconic minifigure characters, there's certainly no shortage of collectibles in the LEGO games. However, the most beneficial one in almost every single LEGO game is the Power Bricks. Essentially, these hidden gems can change the entire game in a number of ways. From multipliers to mustaches, you never know what you're gonna get. And yes, while you can cheat your way to these red Power Bricks eventually, it's worth trying to find them first, even if you do end up finding the ones that turn guns into a carrot. Number 6. Toys. Doom Eternal. This game is undeniably a thrill ride of a shooter. However, between the moments when you're ripping hordes of demons in half and turning them into piles of goo, there's a wide range of collectibles to be found, from massive power-ups to little tidbits of lore. Yet the one collectibles in these games that are really worth going after are the toys. And what do these toys give you? Do they give you a special power? Do they give you another shield? Or do they make every demon turn into a toy? No, they serve no other purpose than to spruce up Doom Guy's bedroom. That's it. Of course, they help players 100% a level, but they just look really cool on the shelf. There is so much detail and so much care put into these toys, we all just want to really buy them in real life. And there's something really funny about Doom Guy finding a toy in the apocalypse, looking at it and then just throwing it in his pouch. These small but simple moments of peace really help you get over the amount of times you've died, but they don't make up for the amount of platforming in Doom Eternal. Let's hope the next game scraps that completely. Number 5. DREAMCATCHERS. Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 is chocked full of collectibles, Easter eggs and hidden secrets secrets all over the map. You'd expect it when it's that big. But amongst all of those, the most overlooked collectible in these games are the Dreamcatchers. There are 20 of these Dreamcatchers to be found around the world, and while at first, it seems like they may not do anything but be a collectible and help you get that 100% completion, there's actually a good bonus for finding every single Dreamcatcher. Once they're all found, Arthur will pull out his journal and realise they point to a secret location on the map. And in true secret location fashion, it's behind a waterfall. After exploring this mystery cave with drawings of buffalo and other animals, Arthur can use his map one more time to find another secret. Coming across an ancient arrowhead, at first it seems useless, but upon further inspection, it's revealed that this arrowhead makes your bow even more efficient, making Arthur's stamina last twice as long, meaning that he's even more effective at hunting his prey, be it animal or human. Number 4. Backpacks. Spider-Man PS4. Not only did Insomniac put out one of the best Spider-Man games we've ever played, but they somehow managed to fill it with decent collectibles, with one of them being hidden backpacks spread across the city. These were left behind over the course of Peter Parker's time as the Wallcrawler himself, and they're filled with so many objects and memories of his high school days, from memories of MJ and relics from bad guys that he's beat before. There are 54 of these backpacks spread throughout New York City, and thankfully each of them has a tracking beacon attached, so they're not too hard to find. Gone are the days when we had to really work for our collectibles. The reward for finding every backpack is a homemade Spider-Man suit. There are so many suits you can find throughout the game, but this one really stands out, and Insomniac even made a canonical reason as to why these backpacks are around the city. This is attention to detail they didn't need to do, but something that all us players really appreciated. Number 3. Evidence. Call of Duty Cold War. Yes, the Call of Duty franchise has been around for so long now, but throughout the years they've had some decent collectibles, with the ones in Cold War actually standing out and being important to the plot at hand. Like any good thought out collectible, they can be crucial to completing the game, or at least the side quests. These collectibles are known as pieces of evidence, and while there are only 6 pieces of these evidence in the game, they can be hard to find when most players simply rush through a level shooting anything they can see. But some eagle-eyed players will find these collectibles throughout missions and realise they're a bit more involved, like you have to take pictures at one point. Think of that, something different from shooting. Now this isn't that shocking as Raven were behind the campaign, and they try to put as much into games as they can. Think back to the old Wolfenstein and Jedi Knight games. Those were great. If anything, these pieces of evidence give the player one more reason to go through the campaign, rather than jumping straight to multiplayer. Number 2. Gold coins. Shadow of the Colossus remake. Now when you think of gold coins in video games, you don't really think of Shadow of Colossus. Your mind takes you to another franchise which is helmed by a plumber. But in the Shadow of the Colossus remake, there are 79 gold coins hidden around this cult classic, and each one really requires the player to go out and explore. Now besides the obvious trophy attached to this and the pride that the player has, collecting all of these coins gives the player access to a hidden door within the temple, where you go after defeating every colossi. Inside the room is a sword known as Dorman's Sword. The sword gives the player better attack, but at the cost of lower health regeneration, as it's infused with a dark aura. While 79 coins is a lot to go hunting for, and the sword gives the player a bit of a disadvantage, it simply gives the cult classic another layer for the players to dive into, and really gives grizzled veterans of this game a reason to come back. And number 1, memory chips. Death Stranding. The video game industry was taken by storm when Hideo Kojima and Konami split, and not only that, the players were shocked and scared. We didn't know what was coming next, but this departure might have been best for us all. Now not so much Metal Gear as Metal Gear Survive is a bit of a joke, but at least that franchise has had a rest now, and when it comes back it's going to be more special than ever, hopefully. And it also meant Kojima got to go and work on his next big project, known as Death Stranding. While the game itself is very Kojima in its almost nonsensical plot at times, and it's very weird, it all kind of falls into place and just feels right. And whilst players travel America delivering packages to everyone from Sam Lake to Edgar Wright, they come across the game's collectibles known as memory chips. And these memory chips are pieces of the old world before the extinction event. They hold objects, movies, vehicles, music, figures, and all sorts. There are 56 memory chips within Death Stranding, and while collecting them all can feel a bit tedious, it's worth it at the end, as players unlock a lot of new vehicles while doing so. And also they lead you to Higgs' hidden bunker, so you can find out what he was up to. And if that isn't a reward within itself, well, just traveling the world of Death Stranding should be. Take some time away from shooting falls and just help reconnect the world. And that's our list. That's the 10 greatest video game collectibles you must find. Can you think of any more? I'm sure you can, because almost every game has them. So let us know down in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And while you're down there, go and follow us on Twitter at WCulture Gaming, and me at BenRoy Turner, and on Instagram as well, why not? Anyway, until next time, no more games.